today, well tonight actually, is the third episode of the Percy Jackson TV show on Disney Plus at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. Pacific. And y'all are gonna watch it with me. You guys are also going to read the rest of The Lightning Thief with me because I'm rereading the whole series now because my brain just went full Percy Jackson mode when the show came out. The show was amazing and beautiful in every way that I hoped it would be, by the way, and I cried tears of joy for most of the first episode. And then I cried tears of sadness for some of it too, because Sally Jackson and Percy, perfect. When I say perfect casting for all the characters across the board, I mean perfect casting. Jason Mantzoukas as Mr. D, flawless. Leah Savage-Jeffries as Annabeth, perfect. Charlie Bushnell as Luke Castellan, perfect. The betrayal is going to betray. Spoilers, if you have not read the books. I'm assuming if you're here, you've been watching videos that I've made already, or you knew me in middle school. And if you knew me in middle school, no you didn't, she was crazy. Yeah, spoilers. I digress. The betrayal is going to betray. The first two episodes were so good. I think I've watched them 4 times since it came out. It's so exciting. I have blue cookies downstairs. I am prepared. I am ready to go. Oh, be real. Oh my god, I'm a squirrel. Anyway. I'm so excited. So, yeah, you guys are gonna come with me. I'll talk about The Lightning Thief. I'll talk about the first 2 episodes a little more than I just did, because that was just a rambly. Casting is perfect. Love everything about it. Ain't no crumbs left behind. Yeah, I'll talk a little more in depth about it later. But for now, we're gonna read The Lightning Thief, we're gonna have some dinner, and we're gonna get all nice and ready to watch the next episode. I'm gonna wear my seaweed brain hoodie. I'm gonna have some cookies. We're ready. We're prepped. We're ready to go. Episode 3. Alright, it is 7 o'clock now, which means we are T-minus 2 hours from episode 3. So let's chat about the first 2 episodes. Also, I am now back to wearing this shirt once a week again for the new episodes. I've had this shirt since I was 14. I am now 18. Cannot believe this shirt still fits me, but you know. Back to wearing the camp shirt at least once a week for the new episodes. So let's talk about episodes 1 and 2. They were perfect. And even the changes from the books, although very small, I liked them. Specifically Grover. That was a really big one. Specifically in the first episode. So I started rereading The Lightning Thief and the whole Minotaur fight. We know how that goes. Grover is pretty much like injured, like half conscious, like on the ground, very uninvolved in the scene. I liked that in the show they had Grover really involved in the scene. They had Grover running up the hill with Percy and Sally. They had him really encouraging Percy to get across the boundary, to cross Talia's tree and get into Camp Half-Blood. He was really involved. He was explaining a lot more. He was more involved in like the training of Percy that we see at Yancey and everything too. Because Grover says when they're sitting at the fountain when Nancy Boba Fett is bullying Percy, and Grover says, you know, like never stand up to bullies. That's not a good idea. Don't do it. Because he knows what would happen if Percy got angry. We see him actively more trying to protect Percy than I think he did in the first couple of chapters of the books. Yeah. Oh, I almost forgot the Mytho Magic cards in the first book, in the first season, not the third when we get Nico. Guys, that was so cute how that was like part of Percy's training, like when he would like know how to have to like battle the different monsters on the cards. He was also like learning how these monsters like worked in real life in a way that like a 12-year-old kid would understand. And I just think that was brilliant. I thought that was beautifully done. Love that. Now, let's talk about one of my favorite characters in the entirety of the Percy Jackson universe. Luke Castellan. I think he is one of the most well done villains in middle grade. But yeah, I think Luke was extremely well done. Charlie did an amazing job. I loved how it wasn't Chiron, like in the book, that shows Percy around camp. It was Luke. I love that because the prophecy, you know the prophecy in the Lightning Thief. You shall be betrayed by one that calls you friend. We really see that friendship, that brotherhood, honestly, form between Percy and Luke. Just in the first episode alone. We see Percy really trust Luke, and we see, like, I've almost fallen for the fact in the first episode that Luke is good and is on the right side. Like, I didn't even, like, think, oh, well, he's bad. But it's like, while watching it, and then, like, you see, like, Walker, who plays Percy, smiling at Luke, like, he's really someone to look up to and a friend he has at Camp Half-Blood. And I'm like, oh my god, like, he's not. Like, the betrayal at the end, like, when you figure out Luke is the Lightning Thief, it's gonna hurt. Like, it's gonna hurt, and I know it happens. That was my mom. It's gonna hurt. Oh, just as much as it did when I read it for the first time. Specifically the line, well, Percy says, you know, whose side are you on anyway? Talking about Annabeth. And Luke says, hers, always. She's like my little sister. I thought that was great. There were so many good things that I can go into. I just have to also mention Clarice's, when Percy breaks her spear during the capture the flag fight. The absolute, like, female rage, blood-curdling scream that comes out of Clarice. 10 times better than anything I imagined for Clarice in the book. Dior did a beautiful, I love her. She's amazing. She's an amazing Clarice. Nailing it. I also figured out that apparently it is Thalia and not Talia, and I have been very mad when people say Thalia because I thought it was wrong. I have been saying Talia for like 5 years. It's Thalia, apparently. I'm still saying Talia. I can't bring myself to say Thalia. It doesn't sound right. Yeah. So far, that's the only thing I've pronounced wrong. However, it's not going to be the only thing, because a lot of it's Greek, and I'm telling you right now I'm pronouncing half of it wrong, but yeah. That's a little more about episodes 1 and 2. Oh! The ending of episode 2. This is the last thing we have to talk about. Them, Chiron and Mr. D giving Percy the quest. And Mr. D telling him that he is Poseidon's son, that the fate of the world is hanging in the balance, like all of this stuff. And he's like, you are your father's child. And he goes, no, I am Sally Jackson's son. Beautiful. Loved it. I love that we already, unlike in the book, like, Grover runs in and, like, confirms, like, no, like, your mom is still alive. And then Percy's like, all right, when do we leave? I'm out, let's go. It's great. Beautiful. When he screamed, I am Sally Jackson's son. My heart broke. Cause like that kid just wants his mom back. Like when the burnt offerings got explained. He burned the blue candy his mom got him to talk to his mom. I cried. Just, yeah. So that's where we left off for episode 2 of Percy Jackson and the Olympians. Percy was offered a quest. He has taken it. Now we get our trio in action on our quest, and we get to go visit Medusa. It is officially 9 p.m. I'm losing my voice. Why, I don't know, but I am. It's 9 p.m. I'm ready. We have the episode up on my phone. Blue cookies, as promised. And we're ready to watch some Percy Jackson. Okay, so they're officially on the bus to go on their little quest. They've left Camp Half-Blood. I love the subtle little drops about, I guess it's Thalia. I have to say Thalia now, because they're all saying Thalia. About, like, between, like, Thalia, Luke, and Annabeth going to camp, but Percy still doesn't know that Grover was their, like, protector. Which I think is interesting, because, like, then that's the reveal, just instead of, like, that they all went to camp together. I really like that. I also love Annabeth being the one that takes charge of the quest. Like, she knows what's up in this world. Like, she's like, no, like, Percy, you're sitting in the back of the bus by the bathroom because it smells bad. Like, this is what's keeping the monsters away. Like, you need to stay here. I'm going to get snacks. And Percy, this whole time, when she's taking charge, because, like, she knows what she's doing, she's trying to, like, keep them moving, keep going, let's go, go, go. And Percy's like, we should take a vote. And I love that for him, but, like, you listen to Annabeth. Yeah. Also, they're in New Jersey for this part of The Lightning Thief, and I think it's fun that part of The Lightning Thief takes place in Jersey, because I'm from there. So I think it's fun that they're in my little home state. Okay. I finished the episode. Oh my god, I loved her. So okay, so they're at Medusa's place, whatever. The whole quest so far, like, Annabeth and Percy are not getting along, and like, as like they do in the book, they're kind of yelling at each other. They're not really, like, super getting along, like, and Grover's trying to, like, keep everyone together, and he starts singing this little, like, he starts, like, clapping his hands, and he starts singing this little, like, song to try to get everyone to get along. And, like, Percy and Annabeth just kind of look at him, and they're like, like, the side eye, like, hilarious. So keep the song in mind here. So whatever. They get back on the bus. Annabeth kills one of the Furies with her, she throws her dagger. It's, like, absolutely, like, gorgeous. Like, she literally whips her dagger out of, like, nowhere. In the book, it's in her sleeve. I don't know if it was, like, in her boot or whatever. She literally just, like, boom, like, perfect Annabeth, the queen that she is. And she kills one of the Furies after Alecto had told, aka Mrs. Dodds, had told her, like, hey, if you turn over your friends, you can go about your life. You'll be fine. Your pride will be fully intact, girl. Playing on, like, you know, that hubris that we don't know about yet. They don't talk about that till Sea of Monsters. But, you know, it's really cool to see those, like, little bits of loyalty. Because at the end of the episode, we find out why Percy has been snapping at everyone, not getting along with anybody, is because he's so worried about those last 2 lines of the prophecy. The, you shall be betrayed by one who calls you friend, and you shall fail to say what matters most in the end. He was so scared they were going to betray him, and we figured out he picked Annabeth because he didn't think they could ever be friends, and he picked Grover because he never thought Grover's loyalty would fail him. And that's when Annabeth tells him about what Alecto said to her, and how, in return, she turned one of the Furies to dust. And then that's when Percy says, well, Medusa said if I turn you guys in, she would save my mom. And then I cut her head off. Like Perseus does in the myth. It was great. I love that they used Annabeth's hat. Annabeth is standing behind Medusa. She takes off the hat, puts it on Medusa, says now, Percy goes boom! And so they could like pick up her head with the hat on it, and they wouldn't be turned to stone because like they can't see her. Genius. Beautiful. And then the last thing that I love, it's one of my favorite parts of the Lightning Thief, is Percy sending Medusa's head to Mount Olympus, and he does it at the very, very end of the episode. And anybody were like, no, don't do it, the gods won't like this, they will think it's impertinent. And he goes, I am impertinent. Perfect book lines. I needed that line in there. It was so good. I'm smacking my hand and that really hurt. It was so good. And he goes like, I am impertinent. And then it goes to Mount Olympus. It's a guy in the Hermes Express shipping uniform. And I'm like, is that Hermes? I'm like, is that Lin-Manuel Miranda? He goes to the Empire State Building, gets in the elevator, turns the key, 604. Camera pans up from the box, and you see on the box, it's the handwriting from the book. Mount Olympus, Empire State Building, 600th floor, New York, New York. And it says Percy Jackson on the bottom. And it's the exact, like, snippet from the page in the book. And he, like, and it pans up, and Lynn is, it's our Lynn cameo, our Hermes moment, if you will. And he's like humming the elevator music and like singing a little. And like that's how the episode ends, with Hermes getting off the elevator and you hear, guys, you are never going to believe this. Oh, it was so good. No, I thought it was done so well. You see like Percy and Annabeth starting to bond, and like Grover got so like, he's like, I am trying to keep this together and you two need to get along, figure it out. And I'm like, yes, Grover, do what you need to do. Amazing. I'm just ranting at a camera in my room. Where's my phone? No, where's my phone is now on the floor. I'll get it in a minute. I need to go to sleep. Yeah, but Grover, like, kind of saying, like, air it out, get along, works miraculously. And we see, like, Percy and Annabeth kind of start to bond, and it was really, really nice. And it's like, oh, it's like little, like, Lightning Thief, like, Percibeth, like, the start of, like, oh, like, maybe you're not that, like, it's like the, maybe you're not that bad. And oh, it was so cool. It was so good. I'm really excited because the next episode is, there's a little snippet after the credits. The next episode is the St. Louis Arch episode, so we are moving along west to California, to Hades. Very exciting. Yeah, I like the little snippets they do of what's to come, because it doesn't really give anything away if you haven't read the books, but it looks really exciting whether you've read the books or not. And like the Chimera fight looks great. It looks like Percy and not Percy. It looks like Annabeth and Grover are more involved in the fight on the St. Louis Arch, and you see Percy just like trying to hold up his sword. Like, he looks awful, because in the book he gets bitten by the Chimera, and it's poisonous in the book, the mythical creature, and it looks like it's done so well. Like, you actually see like Annabeth and Grover like sitting Percy in a fountain outside the Gateway Arch, splashing him with water to try to get the mud off of him from the Mississippi River. I'm so excited for the next episode. This episode was great. That was like the initial like thoughts of everything, but I'm so excited! This TV show is like everything I could have wanted and more. This is crazy, because all of a sudden I'm like 13 years old again, like jumping up and down at Percy Jackson in my room and being so excited again about it, and it's so, I love that it's like back and it's like being enjoyed by like a whole like other generation of kids and like this is how they're gonna get into the books, like that's amazing. I'm so yeah. Like I said, all of a sudden I'm getting so excited about these books again, and I'm reading them again, and I'm watching the show, and all of a sudden I'm wearing this shirt once a week again like I did when I was 13. I'm wearing this shirt as well, not wearing it in public anymore, but I'm wearing it as pajamas once a week to watch Percy Jackson before I go to bed. Oh, this is all that little girl dressed as Annabeth Chase 3.5 years ago, screaming, jumping up and down in her bathroom when the show was announced, could have asked for. Okay, that's the ramblings of the night. Alright, bye.